Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fishlys. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm looking at the Wargaming World of Tanks 2015 April Fool's events. Wargaming has put out some interesting April Fool's events in the past. This year's efforts, yeah, they're on par. I wouldn't say they're the best, but they're pretty good. First off, we'll look at the in-game event. It's called The Sky is Falling. In this mode, you're able to obtain and use an artillery strike. It's the type of artillery strike that makes this interesting. Unlike a normal artillery, you're not firing high explosive shells, you're actually firing high explosive suitcases, which trail rainbows and when they explode, sparkle. So it's rainbow sparkle suitcases, of course. Each use of the artillery calls in 4 suitcases, each doing about 400 damage on impact from what I've seen. Probably the biggest deal about this event is the fact that anyone can use this artillery calling. So while this event's going on, just assume you're going to be targeted by artillery. It's safer that way. From the time you click the button to call in the artillery to when it actually happens is about 3 seconds, so it gives you plenty of time, even in some of the slower heavies, to move around and dodge the incoming shells. Or should I say suitcases. Each of these suitcases do about 400 damage from what I've seen. So don't go dropping them on yourself thinking they'd only do pretty colours, as my teammate did. Thankfully, Wargaming's put some limits on this stuff, otherwise it'd be spammed all over the place. You can only carry 1, and the mission, once you complete it, to get that one, will not reset and restart until you've expended that suitcase. So on top of the fact that you can only carry 1, you then must get another 10 kills in the following missions before you can reload another set of suitcases. So that's Wargaming's in-game effort. But like last year when they had the online browser game with the clawfish thing, they've done something similar this year. This time it's a tower defense game called World of Wartanks Operation Undead. Kinda gives it away in the title, but this may involve zombies. The enemies in this game range from a walking undead called a meatbag, which is one of your basic enemy types, all the way up to the Abomination, which has a surprise kick at the end. Also in the enemy ranks are planes and tanks, so get ready for them. Thankfully, the enemy won't have it all their own way. On your side, you can deploy Vindicators, Hammerheads, Grim Reapers, Mud Spawners, and Fly Swatters, which are all units you can deploy at strategic points along the line of march. Like all tower defense games, it's generally about unit placement and resource control. Spend too much on one type of unit, and when an enemy changes type, you may be screwed. Also available to the player are 4 primes. These are very powerful units or attacks that you can call in. They range from a firecracker, which you can apply to each unit individually to buff its firepower for a short time, all the way up to a Massacre, which is literally just driving a mouse tank right through them all. 3 of them, the Massacre, the Firefall, and the Russian Winter, cost experience points which you gain from killing special bosses, while the Firecracker is bought with just standard in-game currency. What this means is you can generally quickly apply firecrackers to units to increase the firepower and take out a swarm of zombies. While you're doing that, you're taking away 10 resources, which would be used otherwise to build another tank or upgrade a tank. The time will come when you need to decide between killing that last zombie who's about to get through or building another tank to take on the next swarm. Adds a bit to the tension. Okay, let's have a look at some of the units you get to deploy onto the battlefield. First off, the Vindicator. Now this is a light tank. It does low damage per shot with a moderate rate of fire. It takes 3 shots in its base form to kill one of the starting zombies, so don't place it along a straight stretch of road, otherwise you're going to lose very quickly on your first match. The next unit up from that is the Hammerhead. This is a high alpha tank, very low rate of fire, big shot, which is why it's represented by KV2. The next unit is the Fly Swatter. This is an anti-air unit. Don't place it too close to your base because you want to give it the maximum amount of time to take out the enemy. And don't neglect upgrading it, because the enemy will suddenly push through with a lot of planes when you least expect it. The Grim Reaper, it's artillery. It's got a narrow, donut style field of fire, therefore positioning is critical. If the enemy gets too close, it cannot fire. If the enemy is too far away, it cannot fire. But it's great at taking out large swarms of the lower level enemies, and even takes good chunks of health out of the big guys. And last but not least, you have the Mud Spewer. This is a special machine designed to slow down the enemy using mud. By placing this machine at the right spot where you can slow down the enemy in front of some of your heavy guns, you can do far more damage than if you just put another heavy gun at that location. Right, so what I'm showing you here is a sped up version of my best game I played. This game lasted about 8 minutes, and as you can see, I'm pretty much spamming artillery by this point. I'm sure there's better plays out there, but it was working okay for me until I got overwhelmed. Saying all that though, I still did pretty well, at least according to this top 100 chart. Right, so that's Wargaming's effort for this year. It's been pretty good. I did burn a lot of hours in that tower defense game, so that's definitely worth it. And I did have a few laughs at the ludicrous suitcase flinging that was going on in the random battles. Anyway, if you're still watching at this point, thank you for watching. Like, favorite and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.